Hey guys, and welcome back to the Mission Sweden vlog. I'm really excited to see you again. I'm sorry we've been away for a couple of weeks. We haven't been able to do a vlog. We as a family got COVID and we've been really quite ill. It's been a pretty hectic couple of weeks. So there are going to be two parts to this video. The first part will be we're going to be introducing you to a Swedish custom, and the second part of the video we're going to be sharing our prayer requests for this month. So firstly we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to introduce you to the Swedish equivalent of Shrove Tuesday. They don't make pancakes here in Sweden, they do something a little bit different. Let's get on with the video!
Hello! We are baking today.
And what are we making?
Semlor!
So, we're a couple of weeks out because of, we've had Corona. It's been great fun in this house. So we are catching up, and when it's Pancake Day in England, in Sweden, it's Fat Tuesday, which means you eat the most unhealthiest bun in the world, and we're going to make some now. Who made those for us? Mormor bakes the bullar, doesn't she? Oh, Daddy, what are you doing?
So that I'm cutting triangles in this, then popping them out and together.
Okay, Gabriel, so what are you doing? Scooping what?
Could you get those out?
The bread out of the bread.
The middle out of the bun. Is that marzipan? Do you like marzipan?
Hollowed out semmelbullar. Gabriel's going to take the mixture, which is the hollowed out innards, with some cream, some milk, and grated marzipan. Fill that up to the top. Take your whipped cream.
Robin! Robin! Me too.
Yeah, you
Robin!
however much you like. And then you pop your lid.
I already put my lid on. Everybody, what do you think?
It's the Swedish chef.
So that was fun and yummy. If you would like to make your own semlor, then please do take a look in the description and you'll find a link to a recipe. So now in the second part of the video, now we're going to move into our prayer requests. We do a prayer letter every other month, and if you'd like to sign up to that, please do check. There'll be a link in the description below. And it's a very short letter, about 1 A4 side with about 6 prayer requests. And we do that because we know people are busy and we don't want to waste your time, but we do covet your prayers, so please do sign up to pray. It would be a real encouragement to us. Alternatively, you can subscribe to these videos. The idea is that every time we send a prayer letter out, we'll also put the prayer requests up in video form here. Here we go. Let me go through this month's prayer requests. So the first one is this: pray for a gospel-centered understanding of Swedish culture. In order to really know a culture, you need to explore and experience thousands of cultural moments, like making semlor on Fat Tuesday or whatever. And we are experiencing plenty of those kind of things. But to really know a culture, to understand it deeply, you need to know the stories behind those experiences. You also need to understand what's gone on in the past, to think about how a culture has become the way it is. And that's not so straightforward, because actually most of us don't even know why our cultures are the way they are. We just grow up in a culture and we experience it and we breathe it, but we don't know why we think a certain way. So in order to do that, have that kind of understanding of a culture, you really need to spend a lot of time thinking and studying. And one of the wonderful resources we've discovered recently is something called the Clapham Institute in Stockholm, which is a Swedish evangelical think tank. And they're actually spending time thinking through these very things. And it's available in English and in Swedish, so which is great for me. So please do pray for their work, for the Clapham Institute, but also for us as we think through Swedish culture. We would see it through the lens of the gospel. We would see Sweden through God's eyes. As a result, we would be able to communicate the gospel in effective and winsome ways. The second thing is we would just want you to give thanks to the Lord for getting us through COVID. It wasn't a very pleasant experience. It wasn't a very good 2 weeks. But by God's grace, here we are, fit and healthy, ready to go on. We're going to take some antibody tests. So the idea being to see whether we have some level of immunity for the next 6 months, which would be awesome because that might see us through actually till vaccine time, which means then we'd be able to meet with some people without fear of spreading anything or catching anything. I'd pray for a positive antibody test. And then thirdly, pray that in 2021 I will nail conversational Swedish. Obviously an ongoing prayer request is that my Swedish language learning would go well. Unfortunately, I had to step away from the current course that I was doing. It was a 20-week course. I was struggling to keep up. I was behind when I started. And then because of not being able to study for 2 weeks, it was impossible for me to get back in. But actually we're trying to see this as an opportunity for a different type of learning. So please would you pray that I would be disciplined, that we'd have wisdom to know how best we can use our time so that my language learning doesn't stop. Instead it continues to work on things that we know we need to work on. Pray for Gothenburg's 8th Baptist Church. That's our church family here in Sweden. Roughly the same time lockdown began here, we also lost our church building that we were renting in the centre of Gothenburg. They jacked the price right up, and it just made it impossible to afford it. So we're hoping and praying that by the time lockdown is over, we'll have found the new venue in Gothenburg Centre. So to pray for that we would be put in touch with the right people at the right time, and that we'd be able to find a venue. It's not easy to find a church plant venue in a city, particularly here in Sweden, particularly for an evangelical church. Also, we'd like you to pray for this vlog. As you know, I've always loved tech, and I always like to find new ways to communicate and to create things. You may not be aware, but actually every day there are something like 3 billion people in the world that actively engage with YouTube. So in addition to the prayer letter, we began this vlog. We're hoping that it might be a useful tool to actually not just maintain communication with our current partners, but also find people, a way of putting ourselves out there in the world so that people would be able to maybe find out what we're doing and then get involved. And so in the future we could partner in the gospel. Our final prayer request is that this season of COVID would end. You see, despite all COVID challenges last year, we felt it didn't actually hinder us from doing the things we hoped to do. That if lockdown continues as it has been, we really do think it will impact what we hope to achieve this year. You see, Zoom and technology are wonderful things for engaging with current churches that are unable to physically meet because of COVID. But you can't plant a Zoom church, because a church is a group of people that meet together. So we believe that as we're sort of gathering that core team, and as we're trying to cast vision and to train and to prepare people to plant a church, meeting together physically is essential to that. Of course, we also want to be engaging in evangelism again. We want to open up our home again. So please pray that this would end. I'm sure you echo that prayer request as well. Thank you so much for watching the Mission Sweden vlog again this week. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, if you're interested in this kind of content, please do like, comment and subscribe. So please do tune in next week. Oh, and just to say as well, on a side note, over the next couple of weeks I plan to do a whole video in Swedish, do a devotional, a mini sermon in Swedish. So please do pray that my preparation for that would go well. And if not, you are going to have a lot of fun watching it. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with us to the very end. God bless you guys. Right there, look right there. Hello. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.